for Monday Night Raw. Let me just adjust the camera. Right, there we go. Yes. Hello. Um, yeah, Monday Night Raw. You might be wondering why I'm actually doing it at 3:30 in the morning and say to yourself, um, but dude, literally it finished about 45 minutes ago. Yes, it did. Those of you who know who have subscribed for a while will probably have a rough guess at what I've done because I'm kind of a forgetful person at the best of times. Long story short, I forgot that Raw was on earlier this evening, and basically I've ended up having to watch it an hour behind, so hence why the live stream technically could have been on at 2:30 in the morning, and now I'm doing it at 3:30 in the morning, or whatever time it is in America. So I've completely messed up yet again. And yeah, I will now do said live stream when I could have been asleep now, basically. So yeah, there we go. No, not really. No, I like doing these things. It's fine, not a problem at all. Just to let you guys know, obviously as per usual, this video will be on YouTube podcasts under Geek Boy Does Wrestling. That's my wrestling podcast. And it will also be on YouTube videos probably about tomorrow afternoon once it's finished processing. Yeah, so if people are wanting to listen or obviously view it, you can do a bit later basically because you'll be watching what I'm saying now, obviously. So, yeah, so we'll jump into it. I'll have a look at ye old notes again. So, off the top of my head, Raw started with a bit of a melee with LA Knight and Jey Uso. LA Knight basically wanted to kick Jey Uso's head off. Jimmy had to step in front of both of them. And then Adam Pearce came along, and it was a bit weird because it was like when you have these backstage altercations, like Adam Pearce just came along and said, "Well, if unless you both come to my room, then you'll both be fined and you won't get a week's wages or something like that." And I'm kind of like, I'm in Attitude Era boy. I can't imagine a fine would have stopped a load of wrestlers from basically pummeling each other, but that's just me. I don't know. So, yes, we started off like that, and then we went straight into John Cena, who, to be honest, was just in typical Super Cena mode. Thanked the crowd, said we're all in this together. I am afraid of Brock Lesnar, but I'm not going to not accept his challenge, and so on and so forth, and blah blah blah. And it was, and I don't mean this rudely to John, obviously, but it was kind of Cena playing the hits kind of thing. It was very much like, "Yay, I'm John Cena, and I'm happy to be here," and blah 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 blah. There wasn't any, basically, there wasn't anything earth shattering about it. The one thing with the promo that got me is the fact that he mentioned that we're doing this 6 more times. I actually thought, because I've not been keeping up with this to be honest, I actually thought Cena had 8 or 9 to go, and as it turns out, he's got 6. I'm assuming that 6 includes tonight, in which case he's got, what, 5? Which is WrestlePalooza against Brock. Obviously, he's going to be in Australia on the 16th, so that leads me to believe that probably maybe Brock goes over at WrestlePalooza, and I'm assuming the plan is he hurt Cena so bad that he's going to be out for 3 or 4 weeks, blah 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 blah. Then he comes back for Australia, and I'm starting to think it's all going to be Lesnar, and I'm pretty resigned to the fact that it's going to be Brock Lesnar versus John Cena in not Boston. No, they've moved it to Washington now, haven't they? Cena's last match in Washington, I'm just going to put it now, is going to be Brock Lesnar. And I just think that's going to be his final program now. I just can't, unless they do something where he wrestles someone where you're not expecting it, because I think he's got one WrestlePalooza, the Australia show, he's got one Monday Night Raw, another Monday Night Raw, and then is it Saturday night's main event, I think, in Washington? which will be I think it's December the 13th, something on them lines. But he can't really start another feud. This is it. I mean, I just don't think there's going to be anything else that you can do with Cena at this point. I mean, you've all heard me say this, but I really love Joe Hendry to get a match with Cena before he retires, but I just cannot see that now. I just don't think there's enough time, basically. Looking back on it, maybe they should have tried to convince Cena to maybe do 18 months, or I think he should have had a few more matches, but obviously John is at the end of the day, he's a Hollywood headliner. I mean, if he'd been wrestling every single week for 52 weeks for a year, which obviously he can't do because obviously he's got his movie commitments and stuff, and he injures himself, then he's lost his income, basically. I mean, obviously he's a very, very rich man now, multi-millionaire, a million times over, so it's not like he's going to go begging bowl out or anything, but yeah, the way it's ended, I'm slightly disappointed, but then again, I mean, he's faced everyone, hasn't he? He's done CM Punk, he's done Randy Orton, Cody. He would have done Brock Lesnar. He's even faced Sami Zayn. Obviously, he's done Logan Paul. He's had a tag with Cody and Jey Uso. I'm sure he's faced a few more people. Obviously, he's been to Royal Rumble and he's done WrestleMania. I mean, you can't really complain about him not having the matches. I think for me, I would have just liked 3 or 4 more matches. Johnny, hello to you as well. I would have just liked a few more matches from Cena, to be honest. And like I said, but I suppose if you look at the roster, LA Knight would have been good, but that needed to come earlier. I think it's far too late for that now. So you're talking Jey Uso in a single, but he's already done it in a tag, so what's the point? Penta, probably not. I would have loved to have seen Bronson Reed, personally. Bronson Reed, good grief. It's very late in the UK. Bron Breakker, even, but obviously he's now under Seth Rollins, so it would make sense storyline wise. I mean, the only big name not done is Roman Reigns, and the only ridiculously big one that they never finished off is The Rock. I think basically, if he's going to do a final match, you are down to Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and The Rock. Now, I cannot imagine in a million years The Rock is going to be his last match. I think that ship sailed. I think it'll be Brock Lesnar, and I think they'll just have Brock put John over on his way out, unless they reverse it and John beats him this time, and then he puts Brock over or someone like that. Like I said, the only other person I can possibly think of at this stage that's a viable option, like I said, I'd love it to be Joe Hendry. I really would, but that is not going to happen, let's be honest. So the only other person I can think of is Roman Reigns. So yeah, I'm going to go with either Roman or Brock Lesnar. I just can't think there's going to be anyone else at this point. But we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, obviously, so Cena came out. He did his promo. Then we had Lyra Valkyria against Roxanne Perez. Match of the night for me. I'll just say that right now. It was really good. Really enjoyed it. It was very, really good technical wrestling. I honestly, I really love watching Roxanne Perez. Before any of the lads say no, lot like that, I'm old enough to be a bloody father. But yeah, no, in terms of wrestling, I think she's one of the best. At this precise moment, one of the best wrestlers in the world. I would actually go that far. Like, from a technical standpoint, some of her work is absolutely outstanding. I think she's absolutely brilliant. I mean, some of the holds and moves she was putting Lyra in were great. I really like Lyra Valkyria now as well. She's starting to show a bit of personality. I think that's what's changed for me, to be honest. I mean, fair play to Becky Lynch. She's put Lyra over. It's as simple as that. She's a lot more relevant now. I'll get to the Bayley thing in a minute, but I'm very intrigued by the Bayley storyline with Lyra, because naturally, obviously, people will get into it because, like, you've got split personality Becky and this, that, and the other. And Becky, Jesus Christ, excuse my language. Bailey even. So yeah, I thought that match was absolutely fantastic. Lyra went over, not Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez basically got involved. It went, and yeah, Lyra got the W basically. Um, that's when we had Bailey coming out because the Judgment Day started beating her up, and then Bailey comes out. I love the way she started hugging people, like she's having a full Mick Foley moment, as in Cactus Jack Mankind, etc., etc. When he had the split personality. Kids, if you don't know who Mick Foley is, ask your parents. I hope most people do. I'm really intrigued by the Bailey story. Like I know a couple of people aren't too high on it, but I think it's probably the thing that I look forward to most. I just hope that they really follow through with it. I'd like to see Bailey do the three faces of Foley, basically. So Cactus, Mankind, and Dib Love, but how Bailey does it, blah 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 blah. But yeah, it was really really good. So I really enjoyed that. Let's have a look. Kirk would have Rollins or Reigns potentially the full roster together. Yes, Johnny. I wasn't hugely complimentary about Milos Kerkez in my live stream earlier, as the politest thing I could say. I think he'd make a very good Olympic swimmer, is the politest thing I'll say after some of his behaviour yesterday. But yeah, go on, Milos. Santa. Oh, hi, Santa. Yeah, hi, Santa. How you doing? Buy my kids some presents. Why does Robbie Fowler look like Mick Foley? Yeah, I can kind of see that, I guess, sort of. Mohammed, hey bro, what's up? Hi Mohammed, how you doing? You're a red card waiting to happen, mate. Robbo did a solid. Yeah, no, I agree. I know. Sorry, folks. This is, if you're listening, this is about Liverpool, but I'll get back on track in a minute. Yeah, I would not be playing Milos Kerkez against Atletico Madrid, and I certainly would not be playing him against Everton because his temperament at the minute is not good. But you've got to remember he's a 21-year-old lad, and I'll just leave it at this. When I was 21 years old, I was not quite as responsible as I am now, but hey, never mind. What do we have next? Just looking at the notes. There was a segment with EO, and oh, hi Darwin Rosa. Hi Mohammed again. There was a segment with EO Sky. Who was it? EO Sky, Kairi Sane, and Stephanie Vakir, and it basically, long story short, it ended up with Oscar kicking off with Stephanie Vakir, and then basically saying that she was going to wrestle Kairi Sane. By the way, I really love that thing where Kairi Sane's basically sat there and she's like looking like a weirdo or whatever, and you could just hear in the background Oscar shouting, Kairi! So I like stupid stuff like that. I think it's really, really funny, to be fair, but maybe it's just me. Then in the sort of the middle of the show, I don't know what you guys think who watched Raw. WWE are having a massive problem at the minute, in my opinion, with the middle of the show. I don't want to get on the New Day, but basically when they came out, the whole audience went, "Woo!" And don't get me wrong, it was a really good crowd. It was a really, really good crowd in Springfield. They were high the whole night, and then the New Day came out. And I know they're meant to be heels, but they came out in these ludicrous outfits. I mean, I'm not even going to describe them. Look, I like my hoodie. Half the time I wear shorts, trainers, and hoodies. I'm not the most fashionable person in the world. I'm 45 and I know nothing about fashion anymore. But Xavier Woods looks like a word that I cannot say. But then again, he's a heel, so there we go. Anyway, Kofi Kingston, Penta. Yeah, it was an all right match. Penta went over. In fact, did Penta go over? See, that's how forgettable it was. I want to say Penta went over, and I'm fairly sure he did, but I'm all of a sudden thinking maybe he didn't. I don't know. I just didn't really like the match, to be honest. But yeah, let me have a look. Oh, so then we got to the Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, AJ Lee, and CM Punk segment. I mean, it was brilliant. It was always going to be. There was some very funny one-liners in it. And I love the way that Seth kept telling people to shut up, and Bex was just like, "Stop yelling at my hot husband," and this, that, and the other. AJ Lee on the mic is just golden. She's absolutely awesome, and such a nice lady as well. I absolutely love her. Part of the reason I love AJ Lee is because she speaks about mental health, and like she actually takes it seriously and puts it out there and everything. And she bears the soul for people to see. I think she's a fantastic lady, just in general. So yeah. But basically, at the end of the segment, uh, what was it happening? AJ Lee slaps Seth Rollins, and you think Bex is going to come steaming in, and then Seth's kind of going to his wife, obviously Becky Lynch, like, go and hit her, and she's just like, no, you got us into this position, blah blah blah, and then kind of tease that she's going to walk off. Punk then goes after Seth Rollins, leaves the ring. AJ's on her own, and you find out it's been a swerve because Becky basically comes in, takes her out, and then she jumps out of the ring, and Seth jumps out of the ring, which basically means that AJ Lee and CM Punk will be winning this weekend at WrestlePalooza, because if you follow the rule of wrestling obvious, basically the show usually before your main PLE, if the heels have gone over in the show beforehand, it means the faces will be going over, or the vice versa in the PLE. Basically, I cannot see a world where Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch win that, to be quite honest, because CM Punk needs to get a couple of his wins back for a start off. But yeah, no, really looking forward to the match. It should be good. It'll be great to see AJ Lee again. I like the way they threw in the thing with AJ as well, where Becky was like, well, you won't wrestle for 10 years, and how's your neck, and it's that and the other. So it's kind of like they've planted a little seed. I mean, look, it is actually a concern technically real worldwide, because is AJ going to be able to compete at a high level? I mean, you would imagine she's been working out of the PC. I mean, when AJ Lee left the WWE, I want to say she was 20, 25, 26, which means 36 maybe. There we go. Yes, of course, Brody's younger than us, but yeah, absolutely. Oh, what is this? Do you know Roman? Do you know Roman Reigns? Do I know Roman Reigns? Unfortunately, I don't. I'm very glad my missus doesn't know him. She really fancies him a lot. Let's have a look. You better go to bed right now, or I'm telling your mum you've been staying up this late. I mean, you'll have a job. She's 65 years old, mate. Let's have a look. WWE Today is dead. I watched the 80s, 90s Attitude Era. Yes, but I'm not even going to try and pronounce your name, because I'm going to butcher it. Yeah, I can't pronounce names and stuff, and I will just end up calling you some ridiculous names, so I apologise about that. I'll tell you what, I'll have a go. Salahuddin Al Aiba. Call me. I will definitely call you Salah, mate. Definitely, dude. I'll definitely call you Salah. Yeah, let me have a look at that again. Watch 80s, 90s, and Attitude. Yeah, absolutely, Attitude Era Salah, because that's when I really peaked in wrestling. I mean, I watched it during the 80s as well, so I watched, like, I don't know, Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect, and obviously Taker, Rick Martel, the Rockers, Legion of Doom, Demolition, obviously Hulk Hogan goes without saying. Rowdy Roddy Piper at that point was my favourite. I loved Roddy. Rest in peace, Roddy. Bret Hart, all them, Jim Neidhart, Nasty Boys, etc., etc. Then I kind of fell off with wrestling. Oh, thank you for the good try. Yeah, you should see my name, mate. It's even worse. You'll probably do better pronouncing my name than I've done with yours. But yeah, I kind of fell off with the wrestling through like secondary school. And I always tell people that, like, I started watching it again in about 97, 98. And it was shortly after my dad had passed away, and I was watching it one night. Very depressed, obviously, after my father died. And I'm flicking through the channels, and there's this WWE match. I'm like, oh, whatever. I might have had a bit of string. Um, and all of a sudden, I see this bloke in black trunks and black boots, flipping people off, showing me middle fingers to people, hitting people's steel chairs, using this move called the Stone Cold Stunner, and then drinking beer at the end of the match. And all of a sudden it woke me up from my slumber, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And obviously that man was Stone Cold Steve Austin, so that's when I got back into it basically. So I ended up started watching Raw again, and obviously it was the whole DX thing. But then I flipped the channel as well, and I saw WCW Nitro. And honestly, I'll never forget it. I saw Hulk Hogan, and I look at him. So bearing in mind, I haven't seen Hulk Hogan literally for about 6, 7 years. Last time he was wearing yellow and red. Sorry, there is a point to this. I'll get to it in a minute. And all of a sudden, he's wearing black and like spitting at people and writing NWO on the backs. And I'm literally like, what is going on? And then I kind of picked it up what was going on, and I'm like, wow, I have missed a lot of wrestling in the last 6 years. But yeah, no, I loved it. I loved the Attitude Era. Literally, me and my bodies used to go out in Derby. Shout out to Derby, my old hometown. And we would, obviously we were young lads, and we'd get drunk and talk about wrestling stuff, and we'd end up trying to hit finishes on each other in Sadlergate in Derby, which is a street where all the bars are on. So we're trying to suplex each other and choke each other out and put each other into 4-figure leg locks, where sometimes police were having to come along and like say, "Lads, can you go home and go to bed?" And this, yeah, we used to do that and everything. Then we'd come back and watch Monday Night Raw, which used to be on a Friday on Sky Sports, in 98, 97 or whatever. So yeah, that's how I got back into wrestling. But yeah, I love the 90s, man. I loved the Attitude Era, and for a long time I kind of left wrestling because it was just, I mean, I've got to be honest, after WCW folded between that time and 2011, it was garbage. Let's have it right. It was utter and complete garbage for a lot of years. Not all the time, obviously, some great matches, but like the Cena and Shawn Michaels match they had was the hour-long one was absolute quality. But I mean, in general, it was borderline unwatchable. Watched Summer of Punk. That was great when he did the pipe bomb, and then he left, and then it went to rubbish again. I'd say you're talking between 2001 and just before, probably just after COVID. So you're talking maybe 18, 19 years. I'd say maybe 2 good years out of maybe 17, 18, and that's probably being generous, but yeah, I don't know. Let's have a look. Sting, yeah, no, absolutely. I used to love Sting. I loved, I know a lot of people liked, obviously Hollywood Sting with the blonde hair and everything, but I love Crow Sting when he came back. That was awesome. Stop watching this on TV, then a relative called it Raw SmackDown from first. Yeah, no, same thing with me, man. Didn't hit the same. Yeah, it's something never got back into it. Yeah. To be honest, I've only got back into it a couple of years ago, maybe. Fair play to Triple H, he has done a very good job. It's I love watching wrestling, but it will never be the same for me personally as it was in the Attitude Era. But I now get to watch it with my son, who really loves Cody Rhodes. So from a dad point of view, it's a really good bonding thing for us. And I like talking about wrestling anyway. So yeah, I'll always be a fan, but personally, Attitude Era is always going to be my thing. Anyway, enough about me getting drunk and doing suplexes in Derby. So after that, we had. There was kind of this thing with Americano and Dominic Mysterio, because I think Americano, if I'm right in saying, helped Dominic Mysterio at the Vegas pay per view, which was called, I've completely forgot what it was called. Clash of something or other. Was it Clash? Worlds Collide. That was it. Yeah. I didn't see any of Worlds Collide. I had no idea that the Wyatts went there, to be honest, but yeah, I wish I'd seen it now. I will try and rewatch it at some point, but I've got like a million other things to do. So yeah, I'll get on to that point in a minute, but after that, Penta got assaulted by the New Day, and I was just like, yeah, I don't really cannot be bothered seeing the New Day and Grayson Waller, but and then we had Americana versus Dragon Lee, which actually, to be fair, wasn't that bad. But we've now got a third Americana running around, which I think we've had before anyway. So you've got Ludwig Kaiser. Oh, sorry, LA Americana. You've got two others, which I'm going to put two and two together and say it's Chad Gable and Ivy Nile, because neither have been on TV for weeks, which I'm assuming is now going to mean the Creed brothers will become other Americanos and we'll go from there. To be honest, the Americano thing is, I know some people like it. I did like the Spider-Man meme bit, by the way. Good job, that was very good. Um, if you know, you know. The Americano thing is getting on my nerves. I've got to be honest. Like, it's been going on now for what? 6 months? 7? Just admit it's Chad Gable and just admit it's Ludwig Kaiser, and just please just start their little faction, and call it the whatever it is, the anti-Americans or something. I don't know, but it's getting really annoying now. Like I said, I know some people like it, but we get it. It's Ludwig Kaiser. Please just reveal it, and can we crack on and get on with it? Which brings me to the thing with the Judgment Day, because Finn Balor has fallen out with Dominic Mysterio again for like the millionth time, but this time it's about his association with Balor. I'm assuming we're getting one of two things here. Either we're going to get an expanded Judgment Day / American made, in which Finn Balor is completely chucked out of the group, and there's going to be a massive faction combined between those two. American Day, Judgment Made. Judgment Made. There you go. That's what you call it. No, not really. Or I don't know if we're going to have some sort of Judgment Day versus American Made feud. I don't know where they're going with it, but something needs to happen with it at some point. They need to pull the trigger on it. Excuse me, quite quickly. Swig of water. Yeah, they need to pull the trigger on it very quickly, because both things are starting to get a little bit annoying. I mean, they're probably waiting for Liv Morgan to come back now as well. But yeah, where we go from here with that, I don't know. There was a backstage with Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Vaquer. I don't know if Rhea's injured at the minute, because I don't know if it's just me, but I haven't personally seen Rhea Ripley wrestle now for, it's got to be at least 3 weeks, if not 4. She keeps having these little backstage things with people. Maybe she's just having a rest. I don't know. Maybe they've not got anything to do with her until Stephanie Vaquer or Io Sky win the title. Not too sure, but you'd think with losing Naomi, they would feature Rhea more, not less. So I thought I'd read that she had an injury, because she did say in her interview with Chris Van Vliet ago, that she was carrying quite a few injuries at the minute, so maybe she's just hitting herself. Well, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So there was that. Then we had Stephanie Vaquer against Kairi Sane. Shout out to both ladies. That was a really good match, actually. Oscar tried to get involved a little bit. Basically, Vaquer went over against Kairi, but I've got to be honest, I do like Kairi Sane's work. I think she's really, really good. I'm assuming the Kabuki Warriors are going to split, and maybe Kairi Sane's going to have a match against Oscar, or maybe there's going to be a double turn where Io Sky turns heel and joins Oscar and beats up Kairi, or some variation. I don't know what it's going to be. I do like Oscar as a heel, but the crowd, Oscar's so over. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. There's a lot of wrestlers at the minute, especially in WWE, who are being put in a position of heels and some as faces, and they're completely the opposite of what they should be. Like I keep saying, for me, Tiffany Stratton is a heel. I don't mean that rudely. I'm sure she's a very nice woman, but she just comes across as a smarter heel, so I would turn her heel. You've got people like Cody, who could do heel if he wanted to. Not saying he should do, but Cody can do either one because he's much of a talented pro wrestler. You've got someone like LA Knight who could maybe become a heel. And Stephanie McKay is another one as well. I'd consider turning her heel as well, to be honest. I mean, some of the facial expressions and the way she acts and stuff. And again, I'm sure she's a very nice woman in real life, but yeah, there's just one or two people who I would turn. I mean, Oscar, she's a very good heel, don't get me wrong, but I mean, the crowd love her. I mean, I'd just have her be the baby face personally, but hey, there's a random side note. Just trying to think what else happened. Yeah, and LA Knight and Jimmy Uso lost to the Bronze. To be honest, I disagree with the crowd. I didn't enjoy the match at all, to be quite honest, whatsoever. It wasn't dreadful, as in it didn't stink the joint out, but I just didn't particularly think it was very good, to be honest. And then obviously at the end you had the thing with Jey Uso coming back. He's not really left the building. He spears Braun, I think, who's trying to attack his brother, and then he picks his brother up and they go for the handshake with LA Knight, and LA Knight, oh look, no, I'm not really going to do this, I'm going to BFT you. And it's like, I mean, I could have told you that was going to happen at the start of the show, basically. So, yeah, it was a bit of a crappy ending, to be honest. Excuse my language, but I didn't enjoy the last segment at all, to be quite honest. So yeah, let me have a look. Salah, yeah, it's sort of never got back into it. I'm enjoying Netflix airing all past cards and stuff. Yeah, me too, Salah, me too. I have sat here quite a few times and watched old WrestleManias and stuff. Yeah, no, at least they have got that. That is very cool to look at. Do a flip hyperdrive. I'm a big fat man hyperdrive. If I did a flip, I'd wake the entire house up and probably break the ceiling. So no, I'm not going to do that. WWE fake stuff, man. Prefer UFC. It's up to you. Hyperdrive, not a problem at all. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I used to watch UFC all the time, and don't particularly like the UFC from. I haven't enjoyed UFC for a good couple of years, really. I used to like it back in the day when they had Ronda and Conor, as much as I slightly disagree with Conor's logic. I'll just say that and politely move on. Brock, Cain Vasquez. I used to love Randy Couture. Randy Couture was absolutely freaking awesome. I do like Amanda Nunes, but apparently she's retired. She's retired as well now. I think I used to enjoy watching Chris Cyborg, Alistair Overeem when he was in it. Chuck Liddell was absolutely brilliant. He was my guy back in the day. Obviously, I love Kenny Shamrock as well, and obviously the Gracies. In fact, I think I watched Royce Gracie. Possibly the match with Ken Shamrock about 26 years ago, because I used to watch early UFC as well, so yeah. I do like UFC, but I love pro wrestling, so there you go. The only other thing of note that I've got here was that Cody Rhodes apparently is coming back on SmackDown. They put it on like the graphics saying that Cody Rhodes is coming back on SmackDown, so Cody Rhodes is coming down on SmackDown, basically. Very quick story, because that's really annoying, because my son is a massive Cody Rhodes fan, and you've probably heard me mention this before. We've just been to see WWE in Leeds, the house show. We all really enjoyed it, but I brought it so that my son could see Cody Rhodes, because Cody's his favourite wrestler, and then discovered to my horror that he'd been storyline written out of it by Drew McIntyre. Then we discovered, obviously, he was having a baby with his wife, which is fair enough. Cody Rhodes can't not be child just to entertain my child at the end of the day, but I was just like, oh, you have got to be kidding. So his mom had to explain to him why Cody Rhodes was not going to be there, and he was very good, but he was a little bit upset to say the least. And now I get to tell him that Cody Rhodes is back 2 weeks after we've just seen WWE. So yeah, couldn't write it right, but yeah, I'm gonna try and don't tell him, by the way. I'm gonna try and get tickets for WWE. Possibly not the January one, but maybe the Road to WrestleMania. And you'd like to think that Cody would be there, but yeah. Anyway, you guys didn't really need to know that, to be honest. But yeah, Cody Rhodes is my son's favourite wrestler, so there we go. Let's have a look. Friendly player. Might be staged, but you can't fake a steel chair smacking you in the face. It's entertainment, not combat sport. Educate yourself. Yeah. I'd agree with that, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, they always say, don't they, that it's wrestling is not real, but I mean, the injuries are. I mean, I've seen some horrendous injuries. I've seen life-altering injuries in that sport. Darren Drozdov, for one. He used to wrestle with the Legion of Doom. This is way back in the day, so the kids might not know about it, but Darren Drozdov was like, he was a young wrestler, about 25, 26 at the time. Had a match with the Road Dogg, ended up having some horrendous fall at the age of 26, 27, and now he's a paraplegic who can't leave his chair. In fact, I think Droz is still with us. Possibly, I can't remember, but yeah. No, there's been loads of people that have lost their careers and even their lives. I mean, yeah, there's been far too many to count, unfortunately. A lot of the '90s crew have lost their lives due to their lifestyles, which is obviously a choice that they make. But yeah, a lot of it is it's more real than you think, really. Yeah, I think that's about it, folks. To be completely honest, I think if I was to, because I usually give a grade, and I've got no fancy computer graphics, by the way. Yeah, Homeboy doesn't do fancy now. I will learn how to do it one day, I promise. I usually give a grade and match of the night. So the grade for Raw, I'll go with C plus. I think, like I said, there's nothing really. It wasn't an unpleasant show. There's just nothing really that I was jumping up and down about. I mean, I like the CM Punk segment with Seth and Bex and AJ. Could all four of them done better? Probably, because they're four excellent workers on the mic. But I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't the best work any of them have done by any stretch. But it was really entertaining. I mean, the rest of it was watchable. I mean, the only good thing tonight is I was doing something else for the channel at the time. I was having to edit some videos and stuff and do various things that you guys don't need to know about. But I think that's why it went quick for me, because I was trying to do work at the same time. I think had I sat down to watch the whole thing properly, I'd probably be complaining more. But we're into that down period at the minute, unfortunately, with wrestling. I mean, I watch AEW as well, and they've, ever since they've come back from England as well, obviously they had Forbidden Door and the product's kind of gone down a little bit. I mean, they've lost Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. There's a couple of other people who are taking breaks. I don't think Omega's wrestling at the minute, from what I'm given to understand. Obviously Cody's not been around for WWE. We've just lost Roman. Yeah, it's that September is dreadful. I mean, September is. This is a bit of a side quest note, by the way. It's very random thing to say. I hate September. I actually prefer January. I'm probably the only person who prefers January to September, but September is. I cannot stand the month, quite honestly. You've got no money after the summer holidays. You've got to go back to work, and then all of a sudden, you get your wages, and then someone says, usually your missus turns around and says, "Oh, by the way, love, it's Christmas in 10 weeks." And you're like, "Oh my good God almighty." Anyway, I don't know why on earth I'm telling you guys this, but I don't like September. Basically, the point I was trying to make was, in September, wrestling usually traditionally takes a bit of a down for, 4 or 5 weeks before we sort of get to the holidays. And it's usually just after Christmas it starts ramping up a bit because obviously everyone in the world tries to tag off WrestleMania. As soon as you hit the first Raw in January and they start promoting the Royal Rumble, everyone ups the game, not just in WWE but companies around the world, because a lot of them piggyback off it and this, that, and the other. And then you hit the summer and you've got SummerSlam, AEW goes abroad, and then there's Forbidden Door or whatever it is you watch, and blah blah blah. But yeah, this time of year is not great, so maybe that's the reason they're going through a bit of a downturn. I don't know, but yeah, overall I'll say C plus. And I think the match of the night for me was the first one. Like I said, I really enjoyed Lyra Valkyria against Roxanne Perez. Fair play to both women. I thought it was a superb match. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the angle with not Becky Lynch. Really enjoyed the angle with Bayley afterwards, if I can even say the woman's name. Yeah, and that's probably my favourite storyline on Raw at the minute. I mean, I don't know how they're going to progress it, but really looking forward to it. I reckon give Bayley the ball and she can run with it. I really, really think she could do well with this, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, guys, that's probably the end of my Raw review. So just a quick couple of notes. So this week I'm going to be doing loads and loads of live streams on different things. For non-subscribers who don't know, obviously my channel is GeekBoyMeta7381. I don't just do wrestling. I cover these guys because I love them very, very much. I've got cover football in general, stadium tours, Pride, horror, Comic Cons and toy hunts. I can never remember all these, but basically if you look at my channel, there's about 10 or 11 different playlists of stuff that I'm into, that I do videos for, and weird stuff, and go to Liverpool matches and go to comic book conventions and horror conventions. I do movie reviews. I've just seen Weapons. By the way, if anyone's watching this or listening, when it downloads, go and watch Weapons. Even if you're not a horror fan, movie of the year, hands down. It was absolutely brilliant, and I'll be doing a vlog for it as well at some point when I can remember. So yeah, if you like any of that stuff, just if you want to like and subscribe, you can do. If not, don't worry about it. Just thanks for joining us. Yeah, cheers. In terms of the live streams, just for this week, I will be back on Wednesday afternoonish. I'm thinking of doing like a WrestlePalooza preview, because obviously that's at the back end of the week. I will definitely be on Wednesday nights. I'll be doing a post-match reaction show for Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid. If you're into football, if you're not, please just ignore that. But yeah, that'll be about 10:30. After that, I'll be on 9 AM Thursday morning for AEW Dynamite. So that'll be reacting to the Dynamite show before AEW All Out. I'll be doing after that. Let me just think. Oh yes, so this weekend's very, very cool actually, because AEW's got a pay-per-view and WWE has WrestlePalooza, which I'm sure they didn't time at the same time at all on purpose. I'm sure it was just an accident. Yeah, anyway. But yes, I think I'm going to be watching All Out. It's meant to start 7 o'clock UK time. I think it's about 3 or 4 hours. So I'm going to watch that first because it's due to finish, I think it's an hour before WrestlePalooza starts. So I should be watching that. I don't know if I'll get time to do a reaction. I'll try and do one if I can do. And then I'll be watching WrestlePalooza, so I'll be covering both events sort of live. So I'm going to be watching wrestling literally for about 8.5 hours, which I'm not complaining about because I love watching pro wrestling, so that'll be quality. And then I'll be doing a very quick reaction show after WrestlePalooza because that finishes on the early hours of Sunday morning, about 3 o'clock in the morning. Unfortunately, I have a very hyperactive son who will be getting up at 6:30 in the morning, which means I'll be watching wrestling for 9 hours and then getting 2 hours sleep, which is going to be fun and awesome. Also on that day as well, yes, Saturday is going to be very busy. To be honest, if you like my channel, just tune in for the whole day. I might as well just keep the camera because Liverpool are playing Everton in the Mersey derby, which I despise the Merseyside derby because I always get super nervous. And yeah, that's at 12:30. I'm gonna do my reaction to it at about 5:30, 6 o'clock Saturday night. So yeah, so literally I'll be doing reaction. Then I'll be watching AEW as soon as I finish that. Then I might be doing a little bit of reaction to that. Then I'll be doing WrestlePalooza and reaction to that. So basically, Saturday is going to be, if you like your Geek Boy Meta, um, yeah, you'll very much like Saturday. So that's everything that's coming up anyway. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else I need to tell you guys? Just to mention again, thanks everyone who watched the Hard Light music streaming thing that I did on Friday. It's got loads of views and stuff, and the artists were really good and they were really thankful. So shout out to Silk Circus, Transient, Dear Face, and of course a Short Dark Stranger, Mr. Cabaret Chris. You can find all of them on Facebook, Instagram, and some young people website that I just found out about, and I can't remember what it is. It's something to do with American Pie. There's a word or phrase in American Pie that's really famous, and its name has been turned into a website for musicians, and I cannot think of the bloody name of what it is now. It's something really obvious as well. Bandcamp, that is it, yeah. Kids, if you want to know what Bandcamp means in terms of American Pie, don't be surprised if your parents don't tell you. Basically, I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, they're on Instagram, Facebook, and this Bandcamp thing, and also Spotify. So just go and check them out and check it out if you want to go and see it again. Anything else coming up? I will be doing something called Geekoween. Yes, as in Geek Boy Meta added to Halloween. I came up with Geekoween. It makes my son cringe, but I'm not changing it now. So I'll be doing like loads of content during Halloween. So I'm going to Sheffield Comic Con. I'm doing Barnsley Comic Con, Hull Horror Con, Leeds Alternative Market, which is like a Gothica event. That's like sort of horror and gothy stuff mixed together. All of that's coming up in October. Leeds Light Night as well. So if you live in Leeds, you'll know what I'm on about. But basically, we have this event in Leeds where a load of images are broadcast from lights onto walls and streets, and it sounds a lot. It's a lot better than the way I'm describing it. But I'm going to try and do like a live stream of that as well, and just take you around Leeds with my phone and hope one of the locals doesn't steal it. Yeah. So yeah, there's big stuff coming up in October, and I'll be doing another Hard Light on December the 12th, I think it is. Yeah, I think that's about it, folks. And I've also just noticed it's like 4:20 in the morning, so it's probably a good idea if I go to sleep now. But yeah, cool, nice one. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Raw. Like I said, I'll give it a C+. I didn't think it was horrendous. I just didn't think it was. It's not the best. It's not the best wrestling show I've ever seen. We'll put it that way. Let me know what you thought match of the night was. Personally, for me, I thought Lyra and Roxanne Perez was absolutely outstanding. I'd give it a good solid 8 out of 10. Fair play to both ladies. Yeah, that's it, folks. Thank you very much for watching. It's good to spend time with you all again. Please like and subscribe if you can do. And I will next see you guys for a WrestlePalooza preview, which should be on Wednesday. In fact, is that? Yeah, so it'll be WrestlePalooza, and then I will definitely see you for live reaction to Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid, which is going to be about 10:30 on Wednesday. So basically tomorrow. Yeah, cool, nice one. I'll stop rambling now and probably head off to bed because I'm very hyper. And yeah, cool. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.